All right, we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another week of the BYOB Ask Me Anything happy hour with the Money Mentor team. We're here to answer all of your questions around infinite banking, becoming your own bank, and really whatever you want to talk about as far as financial strategies, alternative investing, real estate, and things of that nature. So get your questions in the chat box. We'll do a quick around the horn to introduce the team, and we'll get to answering all your questions. Be back in 14 seconds to get this thing kicked off. All right, cool. Welcome back, everybody. We are here live for the BYOB Weekly Ask Me Anything Happy Hour. Get your questions in the comments, and we'll answer all of those shortly. It's been a full day today. How many of you all caught What the F happened this morning? Anybody watch that? Or how about the wealth webinar with Garrett Gunderson and what would the Rockefellers do? It was a pretty good one today, right? We had a good agent training just now talking about how to utilize the vault with all of our clients to solve your problems. We are on Ask Me Anything now, and then Chris and I will be doing an infinite banking preview for the 2-day virtual advanced IBC training next Friday and Saturday, September 12th and 13th. Get your tickets. The thing is fully recorded. We'll send out the recordings, but be there live. We're giving away $5,000 in cash and prizes to those that are on live. So get your tickets Friday, Saturday, next Friday, Saturday, the 12th and 13th. And it's going to be a great time. I'll put the link in just a minute for that virtual training. With that said, my name's Stephen Nagy, and I'll pass it on to Mr. Brian Fouts next to me there. What's up, Brian?
What's up, everybody? Just getting ready for winter, which is where I live, is a huge chore. So getting tractors put up and doing all kind of stuff. So it's been a busy week. It's gonna be a busy month. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, we're more prepared this time and we don't lose power and water and stuff throughout the year. So there we go. I'll pass it on to Sean.
Okay. I love like a healthy dose of chores, but not too many. I know that on Labor Day, me and Harper were picking up sticks and it wasn't very long and I loved it, but I'm like, God, I don't want to do too much of this. But I am up here in New York, also getting ready for the fall and all these leaves to fall off these trees, new pain. And honestly, I just read this sentence right now about Nelson Nash, and I just wanted to share it real quick because I found it so interesting that his family practiced IBC for nearly 2 decades before writing it down, because I feel like I operate the same way. I want to make sure something works for me before I ever share it. So Nelson Nash was sharing it for 2 decades. Before really proving it or writing it down, proving it worked in his own life. So I just read that like 5 seconds ago. So that's it. I'll be here to read the questions, but pass it down to Joe.
Hello. I'm Joe. I'm up here in Buffalo with Shauna. And fall is going to come. And then the dreaded snow that I really dislike. I think we should have headquarters in like St. Thomas or St. Martin, or maybe Aruba, and then just come back here when there is no white stuff on the ground. But we're here to
move to Florida. Just saying.
I say it all the time, Snaggy. That sounds easier.
I don't know. We have to figure out something. As I get older, the less and less I like the white stuff. So we're here to answer all your questions. We'll go over to Linus next.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I always say, even though I'm here in Kentucky, I have a lot less snow and ice and mud and bleep to deal with than maybe you guys in New York do. But I still always say, if I'm going to move anywhere, I think it's going to be for the South. So I definitely get you. Oh, hey, everybody. Linus here from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Always here to help with questions of any type, but I am on the team here as a money mentor and also on the application team. So every day dealing with underwriters and trying to get people approved for policies for the infinite banking concept. Always working on a few cases here and there that are more complex or harder to get approved or convince an underwriter to approve. So yeah, that's kind of what my day-to-day looks like mostly, is working to get policies approved for everybody. So that's it for me. Tess, take it away.
I'm Tess Hulek, and I'm outside of Detroit. And I'm not going to be like these guys complaining about the snow yet, because we've got a couple solid weeks of beautiful colored leaves that I'm going to enjoy before I start worrying about all that. Yes, I'll have to get the snow blower and all that stuff ready, but I'm going to enjoy this color for a time. And I realized I've had my license now, my life license, for a year. I like this side a lot better than the behind the desk side. So great to be here with all of you. And now I'll go to Carson.
What's up, everybody? Carson Herleen, Southern California. Apparently the theme today is talking about why everyone should get out of New York, which I agree. So I'm in California. I'll state my case for over here, guys. It's better than Florida. No humidity, no bugs, better weather, more waves. However, you have Gavin Newsom. So if you can deal with that, come on over. Let's go over to Jason.
Yeah, with Snaggy down here in the greatest country in the world, forget states. You guys, we talk about control, we talk about sovereignty, we talk about these things. What are you guys doing? All of you, California, New York, Washington at one point. Come on now. You got to have it where you have control, where you get to be the own captain of your ship, what you're doing, where you're going, and what you want to do. You can own flamethrowers down here, right, Snaggy? So we're here to help you ask your questions. I'm not seeing very many questions in the chat yet, but we are here to serve. So ask your questions so we can help you out.
All right. I'm going to start with Brent's comment here. He said, loved wealth webinar today. Had to leave early. Will need to watch the recording. And I know, Jason, you did too. And so for everybody, just a reminder is when we do these live webinars on Zoom on Wednesdays, the recording makes its way to Chris Nagel's YouTube channel on Saturday. So that will be available Saturday to watch, and definitely earmark it and share it. Okay, Shane is saying, about how long does an under 18-year-old like teen policy take to be approved and enforced?
It depends.
Yeah, it depends.
It can be in under an hour, even I've seen, and it can be in a month. It just depends what's going on specifically with that individual in that case. Sometimes they need to go obtain medical records, and that'll take a while. It just depends what you're getting and the conditions of the insured person.
Yep. I always usually say about a week to 1 to 2 weeks, and if everything is clean, depends on when you have the application call, all that kind of stuff too.
Shane is showing some urgency there. So I asked Shane, how long has it taken? What is the holdup, or have you not started yet? Like, what is the context to your question?
And then I'm going to go with Eric's real quick, and then I'll come back to Shane's. So Eric is saying, what is the cons of not maxing out your IBC policy each year? And when we we'll do it in 2 ways. So let's say not maxing out PUAs, and then maybe we'll do not maxing out loans.
Not putting all your money through the policy. That would be the only con that I see.
Yeah. Joe, you should talk about the amount that you leave in and then the banking amount, because that would be that maxing out of the PUAs, right?
That's when you're building the policy. So when I talk to people, I ask them how much can they leave in the policy that they can't touch for the first 12 months. And that would be what goes to the base. So if they can put in 200, 300, 400, even 1,000, whatever that number is that they feel comfortable with, that's what I start the base with. And then I'll ride the PUA to the MEC limit, and then that total will be the amount going in. But that extra amount over the base, that is what creates the banking part. That's what you're making the dividends on, and that's what you're able to borrow. So deciding on what we can leave in and not touch, and then the filling up of the PUA part. That would be the maxing out of the total policy of when you're building it.
Okay. And then let's say Eric's saying, what are the cons of not maxing out your IBC policy loans each year? Are there any cons to not taking the max loan?
No, I mean, unless you have something that you're going to make a spread or you're going to keep the interest in your family, then saving the money in your policy, having savings, having liquidity is a good thing. Warren Buffett's sitting on 28% liquidity right now, right? So like that is not a terrible thing. Most Americans have less than 1% liquidity or something crazy like that. Like there's not very much liquid. That means when an opportunity comes, you won't have any money. So if you're able to save in it, then save in it unless you can put it to work.
Yeah. This question came up on a call here, I think Thursday, maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember her now. But the person was asking like, well, if I don't have a use in the next couple of years, why would I do this? It's like, well, because you have the liquidity and the ability to take action when something does come up, whether it's replacing the engine in your car, buying a new car, or an investment opportunity, or something you haven't even thought of. You're ready. Because what's the thing, it's like if you're not ready for the opportunity, when it comes, it'll pass you by. That happens way too many times for people. So this kind of gives that person that I was talking to the liquidity, because they're not liquid right now, but then they would be. So that made sense to them.
And I think the sooner too is also that insurability part too. If you can get your policy now and you're just letting it build as a savings account, you've also got yourself locked in just in case there's something changing in your medical in the next couple of years.
Another way I would take this question is the difference between the scheduled premiums that were designed for that policy, say it's $10,000 a year, versus maybe that policy can actually accept a good bit extra in PUA premiums beyond the $10,000 it was designed for. So I don't know if I would call it cons for not maxing out above the scheduled premiums, but there are definitely a ton of benefits to doing some extra if the company tells you that yes, you can without creating a mech. I definitely do try to contribute some additional PUA premiums if the policy can accept it.
Very good. Very good. And the bugs are really big down here. Whoever said that, Andrew. So.
Okay. Shane is saying, what type of example of contingencies do you suggest for a trust, specifically having the insurance payout to be used like IBC?
I just had this comment. Great question, Shane. I just had this conversation yesterday with an estate attorney. And so like for what Garrett was talking about today, now my knowledge is still limited compared to what Garrett Gunderson knows and what he was sharing. But you have revocable trust, you have irrevocable trust. Okay. For anything that you own in your state that's going to go into probate, you want to have it owned by a revocable trust to keep it out of probate. So you can have your life insurance policies attached to that. If you're going to get to the point of doing family constitutions, which come to the 2-day, there's going to be some amazing information shared on how to build your own constitution during that. But if you're going to have a family constitution, then you might want to have a little bit more structure in your trust, which takes a little bit more work. They might call it the family bank trust or something else. Still can be revocable, but it's going to be another layer, a little bit extra cost. And you can actually start with a simple revocable trust, move it to like the family banking trust at some point, because as you execute, as you go through it, you can actually build onto it based on what you're trying to do and what you're executing. That's my understanding to this point. That's kind of how I'm approaching it. That's what I'm looking to share with people as well. So, and then if you get to the point where you have 11, 12, 13, $14 million, then you're starting to look at some of the more like the irrevocable trust and other things of that nature. So hope that's helpful. That is what I know so far.
All right. And then Shane's kind of feeding back in some more from that one about the teen, is saying a big payback coming in on a loan in the context, also a 1099 income earner. Yeah,
this is, I mean, it's not really a question, but I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to spill a thought that I've been having is trying to get a policy on myself now that can accept a ton, like a large dump in the future. Certain companies with certain designs can allow for that, because if there is, and I want to basically build the pot to be able to accept the windfall of money so that I have a place to put it into a policy. So it's something I'm thinking about and planning for over these days.
All right.
And Shane, for that, like just another thought for you, just having worked with you and having you set up some of your banking policies, you might be at the point, like if you're having more income come in and other things, you might want to expand how much you're carrying on your body for the legacy piece as well, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But your human life value has gone up if you've earned more. So it might be time to expand your system in that manner as well.
Beautiful. We don't have any pending questions right now, so I don't know if we want to take a second to talk about any events or anything like that, Stephen, just while we wait. I know you put in the chat that there's a 2-day virtual coming up next week.
Yeah, we got the 2-day. Of course, the Money Multiplier Mastermind event out in Denver, Colorado is coming up. When is that one? October 10th and 11th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 9, 10, and 11. I dropped the information in the link in that private chat if you can put it in the public one.
I will do that. We got that event coming up, but definitely hop on the 2-day next weekend. It'll definitely prime you if you're, especially if you're attending the 3-day out in Denver. It'll definitely bring you up to speed and get you prepared to have some good conversations with other attendees and make sure you're, working towards whatever your goals might be. So good stuff.
Attend all events. You don't want to miss any of them.
Like a wham, bam, bam. Yeah. Cause you got the virtual next weekend, you have the Denver event, and then the following month in November is the Orlando Money Tank. So it's like, learn how to control your money, infinite banking, how to move the money and store your wealth, and then right in a money tank to teach you how to do real estate investing, private money lending, and really grow your wealth using that policy. So it's a nice way to end 2025 and you're ready to go in 2026.
Hey, maybe next year you should look at putting a package together. When you attend all of them, you get a special discount.
Yeah.
I
like it.
If you'll get a tattoo.
I probably have 25 of them now.
All right. Justin saying, so when you take a loan from IBC and need a motor in your car, like Brian said in the example, how is that better than a credit card if you pay the credit card off within like the month so that so there's no interest on that?
I mean, I'm not going to say it is better, actually. It's just whatever works the best for what you're trying to accomplish in that scenario. So, I mean, if you're just using the credit card and then paying the credit card off, that's paying no interest. Actually, that's the same thing as paying cash, by the way, unless you're getting points or rewards on the card. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it is better.
I honestly do both, Justin. I just did this with my washer and dryer, and I did a little MSTV episode on it. And I don't know if this is the correct way of thinking it, but like you have money in your policy, you're gonna buy this motor, and then if you buy it without touching this money, it's already there. You're just sending money. You're just going from here to there, or you can just take money from the policy, buy the motor, and put it back. And so it's kind of doing this where you're borrowing it and you're putting it back versus like you have it and then you're sending some away. That's just at least the way my brain thinks of this process.
Yeah, but it depends on where the cash is coming from too, to pay off the card. That's the other thing you got to think about, is where's the cash coming from. If it's coming from emergency reserves that you keep liquid in capital just because for liquidity purposes, then you're draining that emergency account, which I wouldn't recommend. Mm-hmm. So for me, I have liquid capital that I keep aside just for don't even know. But for something like that, I could pay the card and pay the card back over time because I don't want to drain the emergency reserve. So I would actually use my policy and pay it back over a few months from just my cash flow. But once again, it's your situation. So
And then the only other thing that popped in my head, because it's something Shauna does a lot, or a lot of people on here do, is if you're going to pay it within 1 month, the credit card might be because you're utilizing the points.
Honestly, even if you took a policy loan, you can't like just buy something with policy loan. You have to use a vessel, which you can use the credit card and the policy together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very true. Yeah.
And then Brent's got a great question. Maybe Stephen, you could hit on this. Is what's the deal with the pre-meetings for Money Tank that are starting next Monday?
Connection.
Stephen Nagy, Brent's got a question for you. What's the deal?
You tell me.
With the it was your idea.
I have too many ideas. Yeah, so those that have tickets for Money Tank starting next Monday, every other Monday, we're going to do a pre-get-together networking event. So everyone attending will hop on a Zoom together, and we're going to start learning who each other are, what we're trying to accomplish, and building relationships. So that way, when we get to Orlando in a couple months, we'll be ready and off to the races. We don't have to, waste any time. So it's just extra work for me to build more value for everyone attending. That's all.
Yeah. Let me go back to Andrew's comment right here where it said, only Shauna can keep the train on the tracks. Good thing she's here. I often find myself
to this guy, Andrew.
Chris and Steven's ideas that they came up with, then forgot, and then I have to tell them that these are their friggin' ideas. But back to this point, since they are good ideas, it's really good for people who've never come to a Money Tank before. It's just like name and face recognition. You can see people. You can take time to say your intentions of why you're going to Money Tank. Like, are you going there because you need money? You have, this certain strategy and you're looking to connect with people who have capital, or you're just looking to learn new stuff. You're a newbie. A lot of people come to these events because I think they know we're very welcoming to the newbie people. And then they come in a little shy. And all we need to know for most of us in the community is know that somebody's new. And then we kind of welcome them with open arms too. So feel free to say, I've never been to one of these events before. And then we will make sure we take you under our wings at the events and stuff like that. So these pre-meetings are only 30 minutes. It's really quick, but it's just to get that extra face time. All right. And then Justin saying the 2-day, can I buy a ticket but get it recorded? I'll be at another event on September 12th. So yes, there are recordings to next weekend's event. And then there's no more questions for some reason. Now what?
Because we're so good. We did it in a half hour. We didn't need a whole hour. 23 minutes. New record.
Do you guys have any questions?
So I see Shane in there saying, this is a thought I've had. Last year's 1099, much lower than what I'll have made this year, which is a lot more 1099 income. I'm assuming I may need to wait until 2025 taxes are recorded. Unsure, but definitely want to get the kids started sooner than later. So yeah, that's a good plan. When it comes to your income rising and therefore us helping you get more coverage based on that higher income, you may be able to just use it now as, hey, this is this year's income. But depending what level that is, yeah, they are going to want to see it based on a maybe your profit and loss statement, some kind of cash flow statement out of the business, or if you have a personal one, or tax return, which are not necessarily accurate because you're taking a lot of deductions. Typically, a tax return is the last thing I'll use to show income. So yeah, talk with Jason, talk with whoever it is that you're working with, and they can help you figure that out.
I love it. And Dexter just asked a really great question about Money Tank, and he's asking the right people to make it happen. But he's saying, can the new people have like green badges so we know who is there for the first time? And I think that's a fantastic idea, and I can definitely make that happen. I will say, get your tickets ahead of time, at least, let's say, at least 2 weeks because the name badges do get made and they're very cool. And if you get your ticket ahead of time, it has your name like printed on it. It's always those people at the very end. I have to like Sharpie their name on it. Well, it's not a big deal, but like sometimes you want like a nice badge, like a nice name badge. So let's get your tickets ahead of time. I'll be able to tell who's new. And all that stuff. And then Dexter's saying that way Tess can be the best host and find all those green tags and make sure that you are taken care of.
I think I need to get one. You know how when you run in a lot of races, you have that place for your medals? I need to get one for all of my name tags.
Yeah, like a hanger.
Yeah. And say this one was 2020. No, 2021 was the first event.
All right. And then Christine is asking, what's the full Orlando agenda? And then I hear there's activities Thursday and Sunday. And if so, I need to change my reservation. So there's nothing on Sunday formally. That's like the day after the event. But I noticed at the last Money Tank, some people, like to have breakfast together or, just have that post-event sort of hang time. So some people just leave a little bit after maybe around noon or something. So you can kind of reconvene in the morning. If you get a VIP ticket, there is a mixer Thursday night right before the event. The event itself is a Friday, Saturday. And right now the activities is really just for VIP. It's just that mixer. We did get a little bit of feedback from the medieval times that although it's fun, it kind of was just, 2 hours of us staring at these guys playing, sword fighting or whatever, versus not really being able to connect and build relationships. So some of the feedback, although it is so fun to go do those group outings, some of the feedback is you really just wanted that extra time together. So we have right now mostly just time together at the hotel, making it pretty easy to accomplish that, because it is just one of those double-edged swords where it's like we want to go do something fun, but then these days go so freaking fast that you're like, that was great, but we're just like all pointed and staring at something for a couple hours that we could have done something better with.
I'm thinking about setting up my office in the pool with a drink in my hand and having Ask Joe.
That I think we can. So that's another thing, is this pool is huge and there's just like so many chairs. So this is just really true in the way hotels work is, I tried to maybe do some sort of beach party thing out there, and the rigmarole that they kind of put me in if I wanted to do that was like these super, just all of these things that I really just couldn't commit to. So I think we can do that all unofficially. We all just meet at the pool during these 2 hours. Yeah. So there'll be also a lot of stuff that's unofficial, on the agenda and stuff like that.
Can we get a whiteboard poolside?
I'm sure we can do much. I actually, on my mental to-do list today was like, can we bring coolers of beer in a hotel and like not get in trouble for it? Because I think you can.
Still Orlando. Yeah, you can. You'll be okay.
Yeah, because you figure people are traveling. They would have.
You might see me with the bellhop thing, just kind of pushing some coolers somewhere.
No, get Joe to do that for you.
And yes, the pool does have a cantina bar as well. So they have a bar out there. But so I think we're going to make a lot of off the agenda fun. And then Anna's saying, late to the party, is PMC Wealth up and going, or is it still in the works? It is. Actually, today we just got some certain license approved. So it should be up in the next, up and grabbing new clients very, very soon.
So I was seeing further up there where Brent Burdick chimed in and said, if you have the cash to pay for the motor, you have lazy money, referring to Justin's question about paying for a motor just basically with cash, but through a credit card first. So that's kind of my line of thinking too, is that if that's kind of like extra cash flow or savings that you were gonna that you're gonna use on the motor, If you would have run it through a policy first, now you have guaranteed growth on that. You have a guaranteed death benefit on that. If you're running it through PUAs, that's increasing the death benefit on your existing policy, all around attaching a lot more benefits to it, and go use it on that motor and then pay yourself back. So financing it with your own system, because if you pay with cash, there is a cost to paying with cash too. It's the lost opportunity cost, as Nelson Nash called it. You're giving up what that money could have earned if it was in some investment, or if it was in your policy, which is not necessarily an investment, or it's not an investment, but it does grow.
We love you, Justin. Thank you for the question.
You're awesome, brother. I love it.
Don't stop there, Linus. It's helping. It's helping. Other people need to hear that.
Come on, Justin.
Yeah, I got distracted. I think I was at the end of what I was trying
And
to
you're
say.
forgetting the multiply piece. If you do pay in the cash and you don't put the money to work by putting it through the policy first, then you are stealing from your kids and grandkids and the future generations by just using that cash.
Well, I know we always say running it through the policy, but let's just say you already have the policy. Like, even just like, you're not going to take that money, but you just have it there, right? Why use the policy to buy that and then just kind of dump that right back and make your policy whole? Like, that's the other thing that I think is not clicking is, I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it.
Works for washers and dryers. Why not other things? If it works for your system, it works for your system. We don't all have to do this the same way, think about it the same way. There's going to be whatever makes the most sense to you. So a lot of times when Joe's clicking and popping, it takes a couple years for it to sink in, like we all kind of learn when we learn. So I always pick on you, Joe, because you like when I talk about your clicking and popping. It's like your own language.
That's all right. That's all right.
I got two things to say. I got to hop off because I can get ready for the preview tonight. We're doing a preview. If anybody wants to hop on, Chris and I are doing it to talk about the 2-day next week. So just kind of like a preview of what we'll be going over for the 2-day. Hop on. If you guys want a ticket for that, just email Shauna. She'll get it to you. And then and then Christine said, will the pool have a bar? Christine, I think you probably know me well enough by now. We would not have booked the hotel if the pool did not have a bar. So absolutely. And number 3, Dexter, I prefer oranges over apples. So I don't know, but I don't know what to tell you.
Ends with a dad joke. Well done. Well done.
All right. Well, let's answer.
See you in an hour and a half.
Okay.
Hour 2 minutes. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right, so Dexter's saying, so I'm buying some Apple products, so I should use my credit card for points, then take funds from the policy to pay the credit card, and then, of course, pay the policy back with interest, right?
True.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sure. You might not make much of a spread. I've done this with our ski vacations where I make 2% on a cashback card and then pay it off the same month, and you might end up paying a little less than 1%. So it's not a big money movement, but it helps you start thinking about how to keep your bank refilled, how to move the money, how to use it. So that way, when better opportunities come, Dex, and you can actually make a bigger spread, then you can go do that way.
I like it.
And
then
one more way to make it even more efficient. Purchase it through your LLC and have it as a write-off as well.
There you go. But
If
he's
it's
like
used for business purposes.
But yeah.
Mhm. Dexter's always on business.
You
That's
use
just
everything for business purposes, yes.
Rob's saying, is there a website for PMC Wealth? I do think there is one being developed right now. I don't have it just yet. Let me look, actually.
Good news. If you look up PMC Wealth, PNC Bank pops up with all their RIAs. So we're going to have to do some SEO to beat PNC Bank out of here.
Oh, good point.
The website right now is pmcwealthadvisors.com, and it just says it's coming soon. with an interesting looking character on it. All right.
Oh, sorry.
I don't see any questions right now. Go ahead, Tess.
Carson, I loved that Instagram you posted where you were outrunning the authorities.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been trying to enter my inner trendiness for social media content. Man, is it hard.
It was cute. It was really cute.
Thank you.
Oh, if someone's going to make it cool, Carson, maybe you can do it. So maybe you can do it. Make banking cool. Make it trendy.
I'm working on it. I'll figure it out one day.
And Christine's talking about lots to learn. Just hang in there. It does come at the time that's perfect for you.
Yeah, if you don't know it, you just don't know it yet. That's what I like to say. Shauna, I like the new camera angle, the 77 in the background. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Your framing is really well done.
I know everybody is like, oh, 77. And Harper's birthday is July 7th. So 7/7 is my favorite number. And 77 is my favorite temperature. I'm not even joking. It's just the best temperature outside. All right. Robert is saying, Shauna, there seems to be a problem with my BYOB account. When I tried to sign up for the vault, I couldn't update my password. The system said you can't update my password while in the vault. All right. I will send that to Craig.
That's interesting.
And yes, thank you for bringing that up. We still
log out, log back in. Log out, log back in. That's how I fix everything technology. How about you, Joe? Turn it off, turn it back on.
Either that or break it.
Hey, Shauna, speaking of Robert, I need his address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robert.
What's your address?
Give it to the whole internet. Or you can just reply to my email. Give me your address.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
We got a children's book for you.
Yeah, this is live.
Just like I'm sick of looking at this package with his name on it. I'm like, damn it, can I just get this on the mail?
If he has been through underwriting, I can get you his address off of a policy somewhere, if nothing else.
All right, that's a good one. Thanks. And Andrew's got a good question here, and this is the only one. So again, we got 15, 20 minutes left. Give us some more questions. But Andrew's saying, did any of you get it before your spouse did? And how did you operate in that in between where one of you is getting it and the other's not?
She still doesn't get it, and I've been doing it for 5 years.
Joe, sometimes they just don't want to get it. You just gotta let that sink in. They sometimes just don't want to get it.
And they get it. They get it in their own way. They get it in their own way. If you listen to them, they might not be comfortable talking about it the way we do, which I think is a good thing. Like when I hear Patty explain to other people, I'm like, oh, that's so much simpler. Yeah, I should sound more like that, right?
Yeah, I would say that 80% of the time, if there's a couple involved and one is typically in the background and one is in the forefront, and it doesn't matter husband or wife, it seems to be that way, but one is typically taking the lead on all of it. That's what I've been noticing. So, yeah, that's just kind of my take on it. Someone's taking the lead. If they're both involved, it's awesome. It makes it even easier, but that's usually not the case. It seems like 80% of the time, they're not both involved 100%. It's one
I can tell you how it went for my wife and I 5 years ago. I first learned about it, just basically 2 sentences in an ad. So I got the book, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. It was a couple months later before I ever picked it up and read it, kind of the way it goes with me in books. But from there, I hop onto Chris Nagel's YouTube channel, and I'm over there watching videos after work every night, all night long, the whole evening. All right, that way. On the easy chair next to the kitchen where Verna is working, doing whatever, taking care of the baby. So she is hearing all this education. I'm kind of getting it. I've kind of got it on a base level, and she's not gotten it yet, but she's right there, just a couple steps behind me, basically. So that's kind of how she ended up getting it soon after I did. And ever since then, like even to this day, she gets the concept or knows what to do next almost better than I do. And yet I'm the one that's professionally out here helping people do it. It's like she's removed from it a little bit and maybe has a more holistic view when I'm down in the nitty gritty every day. So that's kind of how it has gone for us.
That's a cool perspective, Linus.
I do like that. Yeah. I think a good way to do it too is kind of what you did it by osmosis, kind of how Shauna learned about it, by sitting next to me for hundreds of calls. But another way to do it, and I like this for kids too, is, find something they want or that they've been talking about, and then show them how to get it, but getting all the money back, like show them a better way to buy it and show them it's possible. They'll get it really quick when you're solving a problem for them. If you're just trying to get them to watch something because you think it's cool and you think you want to do it, good luck. I mean, if your family operates in, anything like mine, I got really lucky. Larissa and I both got it at the exact same time and started using it at the same time. But I've seen it not go that way. And I think you just got to solve a problem for them, for the other spouse, and then they'll get it real quick.
And certainly lean on your money mentor to, build the spreadsheet or the report and whatnot that you can show your spouse on how it's going to solve the problem. Because if you try to do it, you're new, you may not convey it very well. That's been my experience when I tried to convey it to anybody, whether it was Verna in the beginning or anybody around me.
I think Linus, the bigger takeaway from that, it's like when you're trying to tell your spouse something, you're probably not going to go that well. We have some fun stories of doing like an MS tour with Patty where she may or may not appreciate this, but I'll go for it. Where we're doing 100 miles. It was her first 100-mile ride. And I just saw her like grinding on the pedals. I'm like, oh man, she's gonna burn her legs up. Her lactic acid's going to build up. It's going to be a rough end of the day. And so I would tell her, and I would get the reaction like, why are you telling me? What? But then when I told my friend, like, hey, Mike, go tell her to like change her gear and do it this way and do this. All of a sudden, she's like, oh, at the end of the day, she comes to me, that Mike is so great. He's so nice. He had such good advice all day. I was like, babe, that was just me. That was me just telling him what to tell you. It's just not me telling you. So like if you can find like the surrogate person, whether it's Nelson Nash's, documentary, to have your spouse watch that or have them watch somebody else, or somebody else can tell them the same thing you want to tell them, that can be helpful too. So just not coming from you usually helps.
All right. What do we got here? All right. So Dexter's saying, so even though I have the cash in the policy to pay back the credit card immediately after making the purchase, is there more benefit to finance it longer through my policy since I'm paying the interest to myself?
You don't want to pay interest to the credit card.
Yeah. But is there a benefit to financing it longer through his policy?
It doesn't matter.
No, it
just
doesn't
don't pay the credit card any interest. That's the only rule you need to understand. We could go circle around in circles, but just pay yourself no matter how long it takes, and don't give the credit card any money.
Yeah.
Any interest, yeah.
Or sorry. Yes, any interest.
The Fourth Law by Nelson.
Justin saying, I got it with Joe, and Joe talked to my wife. She didn't get it till she talked to Craig. I guess it's also the way they talk about it.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
That's actually why the 2-day event next weekend is really good, because you hear it in all different voices. Just why, like, way Ask Me Anythings are great, because you can hear everybody's, take and spin on it, because it is all different.
And attending the events, because Justin's wife was at our recent events.
Yeah.
I got no questions.
Bring
I have
some
questions for
questions
Chris.
in.
How was that call with Garrett just now?
Oh, it was freaking awesome. So, excuse me. One of the things I did not know, and I'll kind of call this out because we got nothing but time, and this would be good for everybody to hear. So, we started this new project with a newsletter. It's a invite only news. There's two newsletters. Essentially, there's the Money School newsletter and the Money School Elite. The Elite is invite only, and there'll be a form that, a person would have to fill out, and they'd have to be accepted into that. So, Shauna, this is I'm going to say this because this is what I need you to do, is he's got all his articles that can be repurposed for licensees in Go High Level. I need to print all those articles out. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make YouTube content around them. And I got his permission to do this around the articles. Then the articles are going to, in the YouTube video, in each one, we're going to basically have a call to action where they can get, this article, this white paper. All they need to do is sign up for the newsletter. And when they sign up for the newsletter, the article will go with that month's newsletter. And then that gets emailed to them. And then, the other call to action in the newsletter will be at the back. They can get the book link and they can get a copy of the book. So think of it as reverse ordering it. And we can do that with that YouTube video that I have out back that I started to play. We'll redo that, and then we'll give away the Legacy Wealth Builder. But can you print out all those articles and use that?
I will figure it out. And
another thing that he gave me a good idea. And I used to do this a lot. We send thank you cards to clients, but I think one of the things to do is for all the mentors, when you got a client that really, you just connect with, just send them a copy of the book, and just put a little sticky on it. Hey, I was thinking of you. I think you'd like chapters 6 and 13, and just send that to them. So I'm doing that right now to one of my clients. And also 2 other things he's got that I didn't know about, but he's got a tax navigator. I'd like to check that out. And he's got a financial health assessment that we can use. So articles, tax navigator, financial health assessment. So those 3 I'd really, really like to use.
Okay. And everybody just got a preview of what a real work meeting with us is like.
Whatever. They didn't have questions. So
I know.
They get.
All right.
We don't like dead time.
Anna's saying, any spiders crawling?
Oh my gosh, spiders. So during the wealth webinar, there was a ginormous, I don't know what it was. I didn't look him up, but there was a giant one crawling around on the floor, and I spotted him. So after the webinar, I put him on a paper, and I was going to carry him out, and the son of a pup jumped on my hand. Not going to lie, I didn't like it. So I shook him off, got him on the paper, let him go outside. But yeah, he was a big one. So we got a little bit of a spider issue out back there. It must just be the time of year. He was big. I don't know what the hell he was.
Good to know.
I didn't want to spook Steven.
Is it snowing yet?
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm still swimming in the lake. You kidding me?
Just
cold.
My dad told me it was 37 in New Hampshire the other day.
Well, the mornings are 49 to 52. So when I get to the lake, it's 49 degrees out. You stand on the edge of those rocks ready to dive in, definitely contemplating how stupid of an idea this is. You hit the water and you say, yep, this is stupid. But then you start swimming and you warm up and you're like, this is beautiful. Wow, this is God's creation. This is the most wonderful thing ever. Yeah. So that's
a great description of what it feels like going from scarcity to abundance on a daily basis, right? You don't want to get out of bed. You want to pick regret. You want to stay cuddled in the bed.
Every minute of it.
Comfortable.
5:45, coffee in the dark, feeding the cats. And then riding my bicycle to the lake, freezing my ass off. I do a ton of content every morning I ride my bike to the lake, and that's when I do my content. I do my little videos. If you're watching my Instagram, you see me ride to the lake every single day. Tess is always commenting. I mean, listen, you just got to use every minute you have, and you got to use those moments when you're inspired. And there's nothing more inspirational than 6 to 6:15 in the morning, riding your bike when it's freezing out. Your fingers barely can feel the grips, and you're like, yeah, let's do some content.
So why not?
Some people are thinking
you do something like get a Lamborghini to drive to the lake with every morning. Since you're doing content, now you get a bigger deduction.
I've said this a million times. Money has a diminishing return, and cars do too.
No, it's for the deduction.
Oh, for the deduction?
Yeah.
Oh, we're already deducting them because we use them in the YouTube videos. I mean, have any of you watched YouTube videos of mine? In most of them, the cars are in the background, and you think, oh, I'm just showing off my cars. No, I'm just writing my cars off. So if I ever got audited, I'd be like, what do you mean I don't use these? They're in every video. Yeah. There's a purpose for that.
And you guys keep talking about all this snow and cold weather. We still have fall colors yet. There's still a beautiful part left in this. So calm down already.
Still extremely green here. It's definitely not.
We forget
haven't
about
even hit fall.
seasons. We forget about seasons test living in Florida. Like it's just hot and then it's less hot and then it's hot again.
So you're challenged because we get 4 seasons up here.
Yeah. That's the only part I miss is the fall. That was my favorite season.
80 degrees today, isn't it?
So you're not the city beautiful. You're the city lacking.
No, not at all. Not at all. I would not move for any reason.
I love this comment by Dex. 100%. I heard it from Brent, heard it from Chris, heard it from others, and didn't get it until Nagy showed an example of buying a car. Way to go, Nagy, showing up on the freaking leaderboards.
Yeah, that's not true.
Nagy wrote all my policies too.
Dexter also said it took me 2 years to understand it. However, I started it and earned while I learned. And I did the same thing. I just was like, I don't really get this, but I know I will. So I just like signed and funded. And I'm glad I started when I did. Not to say that's like kind of sounds a little negligent, I think, of as far as advice, but
no, I don't think so at all. I teach a 3T methodology. You gotta train first, which is learning, educating, being here, asking us questions. Then you gotta test. You just gotta do the thing. Like, tell me something that you do that you haven't gone and done it before you knew how to do it.
Yeah.
Anything. And then after that, right? And then you teach. You turn around and teach someone. Like, try to explain it to someone. Like, if you're failing teaching your spouse, that's a good thing. That just means you got to go back and figure out how you can teach it better. Like, what don't you know? Where's the gaps? I swear, the more I'm on these things, the more we talk, the more we do things, the less I really feel like I know. And I know being one of 310, right? And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other certified infinite banking practitioners sitting here. So that's what? 6 of the 310 in North America. It's a pretty small group. So
Took me 16 months and $150,000 later.
That's a good story, Joe.
Joe, you always like doing things the hard way.
But it works in the end. It works.
I've got a Joe in the works right now, just so you guys know. I've got
There's no one that spends more money on learning than Joe, and he learns through the worst kind of failures you can ever learn through. But he figures it out.
I was on a couple hours of Joe and Bree's calls last Friday, and that was fun. I spent a couple hours with Joe and Bree, and there's a lot going on those client calls.
There's usually about 6 hidden people you don't know are on those calls too.
That's what's on too.
Yeah, all of a sudden you hear like 3 or 4 more people come on, and you're like, how many are on this call?
That is hilarious.
25?
All right, and then Chris's question might be for you. Anna's saying, any cliff notes on what will be offered with PMC Wealth?
Yeah, I can just send you a brochure if you give me your email. But the PMC Wealth Advisors and Brandon will be having many different things they'll do. But number one, a revolutionary software, not the vault, but it's called eMoney. It's something we used to use, the advisory. Every client gets that. Investment oversight. That's something that Brandon's going to be doing, something that most advisors won't, looking at your assets, not just because they're being managed by the advisor. So that's going to be one thing he's going to be doing. I think one of the most compelling aspects of PMC Wealth and what they're going to be doing is the active cash management. So managing your cash, helping you get a better yield on your savings and bank accounts. That's something Brandon's going to be very active in doing. And that's his background. I mean, he comes from the banking world. And then privatized banking strategies. Obviously, we do that here, but they're going to be doing that. Legacy and protection planning. I'm literally just reading right out of the brochure. Optional portfolio management if you wanted somebody to manage your assets, but it's a severely reduced AUM fee because it's a subscription base. And then there's different packages you can look at and buy. They go from $47 to $9.97 a month. And, each one, is a retainer model that's going to fit your particular needs and goals. So it's one of the first models like this that's ever been created. This model right here for PMC Wealth does not exist in the financial advisory world. And yeah, it's being brought to you by the advisors over at PMC Wealth. So yeah, if you want a copy of this brochure, which will be finished up, I think tomorrow, they'll have a rough copy they could probably send out. Then just give us your email and I'll make sure that Brandon sends it over to you.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Or Anna, you can just maybe just get on the call. I'll give you his email. That'd be easier. Yeah.
All right.
We're at the top of it. And I do just want to say I just talked to the hotel. We sold out our room block. I had to ask for more rooms. So, if you're thinking about Money Tank, I still do feel like it's very valuable to get your tickets now. We're starting those pre-event calls this coming Monday at, I think it's around 2:30 Eastern. So get your hotel. There's not that many rooms left on our block, but that's still doesn't. You can get a ticket later and stay anywhere else. It doesn't matter. It's Orlando. There's no shortage of rooms there. But I just keep having to go back and ask for more rooms, and I don't know how much more they're going to give me. But yeah, so just I definitely am saying, get your Money Tank things in order for Orlando sooner than later.
You don't want to miss out.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. And if anyone wants to join us tomorrow, we're doing that live PMC pop-up here in Buffalo. If you can't join us live, just go to this StreamYard, YouTube, Facebook, and we'll be streaming live. It'll be a really fun one. It's going to be a panel. We got a contractor who does tons of real estate and contracting work around here. We got a flipper, and then I'm going to also be talking about private money. So it should be fun. Join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Dimitri's awesome. I already reached out to him. I'm excited about this.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it looks like that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for Ask Me Anything Happy Hour, as well as the Wealth Webinar. Hopefully you enjoyed our guest, Garrett Gunderson. If you haven't got a copy of his book, What Would the Rockefellers Do? Just go to that link or hit up Shauna at chrisnoggle.com. She'll send you the link, and you can grab a copy of that and the Legacy Wealth Builder. But with that being said, thanks. We'll talk to you next time.